Hey everybody, James here. Welcome to episode 8 of The Homecoming with Montrose FC, my home club. Of course, I'm from Football Manager WizKids, and if you haven't checked us out on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, where you currently are now, please subscribe, like and follow on the following social media. Anyway, it's episode 8 today and we're in season 2, just about to kick the season off. But of course we've got a lot to update you on in terms of transfers. There has been a lot of activity, to be fair. We've gone for a new system, new formation, so we're going to try that. And of course we'll run through the pre-season results and that silly pre-season league knockout cup tournament that I keep forgetting about when we play this season and this series. It's where a lot of teams are mixed from the bottom 4 tiers in Scotland. You play a league knockout. It is a cup, but at the end of the day, it's one we're not really interested in. It's all about the league campaign. And also, it does give us a bit of demotivation because we seem to get smashed, as you were about to find out with the results. And it puts you into the start of the season on not good stead. But we're ready to start the campaign soon, so let's see what we've got done in the pre-season. No live com today, but we will get through a lot of important information before I crack on with the season. And you join me in the next episode for that live com. But let's get into it. Let's check out the signings that we've made in this pre-season. So 9 signings made in total this season. The first 2 you've already seen, as I showed you them in the last episode. They were signed on pre-season contracts. Fraser Mullen comes in from Cowdenbeath. All 8 out of 9 were free transfers. 1 was paid for, but Fraser Mullen came in on a free from Cowdenbeath. Can play right back or centre midfield. Looks like he could be an integral part of the team with 15 free kicks, 12 long shots, which is good and something you need at this standard of football. Passing is 11, teamwork and work rate are 13 and 12 respectively. He could be a good signing for us in this division. The next one, of course, you've already seen as well, is Carlo Monte, formerly of Celtic, and recently Pollock. Now, technically he's very good, mentally he's very good, physically he's pretty poor, but for me, he's one of the standout players in this division and hopefully he can do quite well. Next in the door, number 3, is a 17-year-old released by Celtic, so he joins us on a contract. 17-year-old Ewan Henderson. Now he's got 13 for first touch, 14 passing, which is excellent for this level. Technique of 11, vision and work rate of 12 and 11. Physically he's pretty good as well. In fact, he's very good for a 17-year-old physically, so he should hopefully do a job for us. Released by Celtic, as I say, and we picked him up on a free contract. Entering in at number 4, and for me, the biggest signing, him who was on loan from Hamilton last season, Mark Kelly, got 17 goals in 32 games for us last season. The 19-year-old Scotsman, he is coming in on a contract on £130 per week. So hopefully he can score more goals. He's a good pre-season, scored 3 and 4. So hopefully he can add more goals and really push us on into that playoffs, which is the target we have actually set for this season. I really want to challenge the title, but as long as we get the playoffs, you never know what can happen. And don't really need to go through his attributes that much with you. You've already seen them as they were showcased last season. But finishing, pace, acceleration are real key for this guy, and I'm sure he'll score a lot of goals for us. Signing number 5, and the only one we paid a fee for, £9,000, and needed a right midfielder, so we went for Sean Waddell. That was the compensation fee paid to Stenhousemuir. He looks pretty decent, crosser of 13, flair 12, leadership 14, which is surprising for an 18-year-old, teamwork 17, work rate 12, and his physical side of the game is pretty decent too. Acceleration 13, 11 agility, 12 natural fitness and pace 11. Really, when I was trying to sign a right midfielder, because I've got Monty on the left, I wanted somebody that could cross, somebody that could have a bit of pace and acceleration also. Dribbling's only 5, which is pretty poor, but hopefully that can go up a few. He is only 18 years old, of course. Coming in as the first choice goalkeeper is Blair Curry, formerly of Rangers, I want to say, as a youth player. Well, he comes in and mentally he's not very good, physically he's not very good, but goalkeeping in terms of general is pretty good. Handling, kicking, passing, reflexes are pretty good. As you can see, he's conceded 17 in 4 games in pre-season / early competition, which you're going to see. We did take a few beatings in that. Hopefully that can get out of the way though and doesn't affect our confidence too much. Next up is a bit of welcome added experience, not long signed. Started his career at Celtic, spent a lot of it at the likes of Berwick and Cowdenbeath. It's Pat Scully, and the 31-year-old. he comes in on £100 per week. We did need a bit of experience. That was imperative that we got that into the club. Heading is 14, long shot surprisingly 15. Mentally he's really good. Leadership 16, teamwork 13, and for that reason I have named Pat Scullion the captain of the club for season 2, where I'm in charge. And physically he's pretty good as well. Of course he's only got 3 pace. You're going to expect that at this level, at that age. Not a full-time team, but experience is essential with him, and hopefully he can do well for us. The penultimate signing in the door so far is Darren Ramsey, age 21, Scotland nationality. He is formerly of Rangers. Shooting is 14, his long shot, is pretty good. Technique is 13, decision making is 12, physically he's okay, acceleration is 13, natural fitness is 14, and pace is 11. So he, I think, could be a key part of the team to come this season. The final signing so far is another striker, an Englishman coming in from Blythe Spartans. Now, if you watch my Blythe Spartans rags to riches save on Football Manager 2016, you will know that Dan Maguire was an absolute machine for me. Now, he is on a hefty wage of £180 per week, but I wanted him in, and it took a lot of convincing to get him to go from Blythe, a free agent, then to part-time football in the 4th tier of Scottish football. So I'm very happy to get him in terms of what he's done for me in previous Football Managers. Hopefully he can score goals for me in this Montrose save. Now we're going to talk about out very quickly, but the one guy that did retire due to an injury was Chris Templeman, the 37-year-old. Spent 1 season at Montrose, but made his name mainly at Forfar. Well, he has been named my under-20 manager. I wanted to keep him around. I felt like he could have some good attributes, help the youngsters in their development, and of course he used to play for the club, so it's a good welcome addition to the backroom staff for me. So we'll not run through them individually because it's just about players getting out of the club. Martin Fotheringham on a free contract, Chris Hegarty on a free contract, Ian Campbell out, Jordan Miller, I did actually try to offer him a new contract but he wasn't having it. Ryan Ferguson goes out, Adam Harwood goes out, in real life he joined Carnoustie today. Callum MacDonald out, he was one I contemplated keeping. Paul Watson out, Alan Fleming out. I did consider keeping Alan Fleming, but we did bring in Blair Curry. Declan Milne out, one that I did consider keeping, and 2 local lads who live in this town, Kyle McLeod and Lloyd Hesser, also leave the club. So here we are then, guys. We did only play 2 friendlies because it was then all about the cup action. We're not going to run them through separately and individually for you. It's non-important games, should I say. So we did play local junior side Montrose Roselee away down at Broomfield Park, which is literally just 5 minutes from my house. Gary Fraser, Kevin Buchan, who we did have on trial and actually considered keeping, but he wanted too much money, and then we got Dan Maguire, and then that was a deal out the window. So he scored in that game. Connor Higgins, the youngster, we're going to look for a return from Connor Higgins this season. We paid £10,000 for him from Partick Thistle last season, and 30% of his next sale actually goes to his former club. We then played at Links Park and we beat Eastside 2-0. Gary Fraser and Kevin Buchan on score sheet there. Then it was time for the Betfred Cup, which I'm really not a fan of, especially early on before the season's even started. It kicks off in June time. So, 9-1 defeat. Yes, that's right. We got absolutely battered. It could have been 20. Mark Kelly getting the goal for us against his former side. We then lost 3-0 at home to Albion Rovers. Disappointing there. We then lost 4-2 away to Dumbarton. A double from Mark Kelly there. He's had a reasonable pre-season. And we just beat Airdrie 2-1 at home after going 1-0 down in the last game, but we're already knocked out of the cup. 300 almost in attendance at Links Park there. Dan Maguire on his first start getting a goal for us, and that young man, Blair Charlesworth, getting on the score sheet. So, as you can see, guys, there's a few big games to come. Obviously, it's a big season ahead, and really the plan is for us to hopefully get in the playoffs at least. That's what I've set the minimum realistic target at, and hopefully we can push for the title, but if not, definitely we need to get in that playoffs this season. So we're just going to run through the formation, etc. that we have come up with this season. As you know, last season played narrow, but we signed Monty, and I felt like if we were going to bring Monty in, we had to bring in another right midfielder to use Monty, otherwise he wasn't going to fit in the system unless we played him at left back. So, we're trying a new formation. It's something a bit different. We're trying to use system as well in terms of shape and mentality, but here is how we're lining up so far for the campaign. Blair Curry in goals, Terry Masson, the vice-captain, dropping from captain for Pat Scullion, who played in the middle. He'll take over the captain's armband. Greg Pascazio At centre back, Andrew Steeves, Waddell on the right, Ramsey in the middle. That could change though, we'll see how that gets on. Monty on the left, Charlesworth in the Calm role, and up top, in the last game, Mark Kelly and Dan Maguire, but I can see it being Mark Kelly and Gary Fraser in terms of general play and who will start the season, I reckon. On the bench we have Stephen Davidson, that talented central defender, Alan Moore, Ian Henderson, Liam Callaghan, Kerr Hay, Connor Higgins, Gary Fraser, Jim Fanningham, Fraser Mullen, who's currently injured, Liam Ross and Ryan Watt. I'm not sure if we're done with transfers etc. this season yet. I'm reasonably happy with the size of the squad. If I was going to bring in another player, it would probably be somebody that could play on left and right wing, because if Monty or Waddell get injured or drop in terms of their consistency and poor form potentially, we do not have anyone else that can play there really. Maybe Fraser Mullen, but really nobody naturally play out there. So the system is totally a revamp. It's totally different to what we were playing last season. Last season it was all about counter and sort of being under pressure a lot, then try to break away. But this season I'm going for a totally different style, and where I think we can be favourites in terms of a lot of matches and a lot of play and really be the better team. So we're going for a lower tempo, we're going for, it is balanced with, but I think we'll go for a little bit wider there. The defensive line is normal, prevent short, goalkeeper distribution. Now this is the one that I have on guaranteed every single save. It means the opposition goalkeeper, as soon as he gets the ball, you got somebody right on top of him, closing him down, giving him a little chance to breathe and really get in his face and force him into making mistakes or passes wayward. So I always have that on. Closing down a little bit more, get stuck in more, be more expressive. That's something we didn't have on last season, but with the likes of Waddell, Charlesworth, the strikers and Monty, I think we can be a little bit more expressive. Retain possession, mix passing, pass into space, exploit the flanks and clear ball to flanks. As I say, we played a narrow formation last season, so we didn't really use that. Hit early crosses and dribble less. So that's just how we're lining up the start of the season. We will tinker and tweak with it a little bit in terms of how we get on early doors in the season ahead. So there we have it, guys. That just about wraps up all the important stuff that you need to know. Of course, we cancel Stein players, but next up we play Partick Thistle under-20s in the Challenge Cup. It's another cup we can hopefully get out of the way. But then the league campaign gets underway, and we play the relegated Stenhousemuir in the opening game of the season at Links Park, before playing Annan away, Cowdenbeath at home, Berwick away, Peterhead away, Stirling at home. But the first live club of the season, guys, I'm going to bring you is against the newly promoted side, replacing Edinburgh, who have been relegated to the Lowland Highland League. It's Cove Rangers. Just because they're new and a welcome addition to the league, that's the first live club I'm going to do. So that can give me a chance to update you on any further transfers, any further players going out, as well as recapping the first 8 games of the season. So we've got last season done in 7 episodes. That's kind of what I'm looking, guys. 6 to 8 episodes per season on the series, nothing more. It's a relaxed series. I'm enjoying playing, and I just want to take my time playing it and not rush through and bang out an episode every day, because it's not going to happen due to my lifestyle, having kids and a job, etc. But nevertheless, I will plough on with my hometown in this series on Football Manager 2017, the homecoming. Like I say, guys, if you haven't checked us out on social media, please do. The Football Manager WizKids. You'll find us all over the place in terms of the Football Manager community. So thanks, guys, for watching. This has been episode 8 of the homecoming. Thanks. If you haven't subscribed, please do give the video a thumbs up and interact with me if you've got any opinions or options or things you think I should do, because I am by no means an expert at lower league football on Football Manager. I'm more of a middle of the road man. Play with the likes of, I like to play with Red Bull Leipzig, I like to play with like Newcastle, Sporting in Portugal, teams like that. Not the top end ones, but sort of in the middle average ones. But all help is welcome in terms of the lower league football. And again, guys, I do apologise if I sound a bit stuffy. I'm not feeling too great, but I got an episode done. It was time to record. I'd played enough Football Manager, so here we are. And I'll see you in the next episode of the next episode, which will be number 9 of the homecoming. As ever, guys, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care, goodbye.